Good morning, Retro Life for you. What's going on out there, everybody? I might see that the scene looks a little different today. I got the top bunk, and our usual host, Mr. Chris Adams, he's on the bottom bunk. I guess that's why we can't see him. But we got a special shot. There he is.
Hello.
Hello. Well, as we can usually get a little hint of what's coming up from Chris's background, we got a special show today that I personally requested to just celebrate the life and times of Robin Williams, focusing on the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Great actor. Great
comedian. Like,
cheers, Robin.
Cheers, Robin. Absolutely. There's no alcohol in my cup tonight.
That's all y'all know. I was gonna say there's no peach drink in this cup like he had last time.
There's no peach drink in mine tonight either.
I'm just naturally goofy.
Yeah. We were we got to talk about it, and just, man, Robin Williams, dude, amazing. I guess means more a little. I guess he's a little more influential on me than you, Christopher.
I did like a lot of Robin Williams stuff. However, his comedy was hilarious for me growing up. I told you one of the funniest comedy bits I've ever heard in my life was him talking about the creation of golf.
Yes,
and who it was that could who in the right mind could come up with a game as crazy and silly as golf.
I knock a ball into a gopher hole. That's pretty much the only part we can tell you that joke too. So for those of you that don't know,
he's not lying.
For those of you that don't know, Robin Williams is a very different stand-up comedian than what you see on TV.
Yes, he is. I mean, he if you look at the word vulgar, and you see the definition, his is vulgar with a capital VUL.
Yeah. And him and Richard Pryor was like they were the hot one. Him, Richard, and I said his name earlier, Mr. Conductor, for all you Thomas the Tank Engine fans, George Carlin. They were, and I don't think George was as bad as those two were.
Not as bad as far as the cursing
vulgarity,
goes, but he had some very touchy subjects for sure. He was more. So. I think you say Carlin was more political than he was.
Very much so. Very much so. Anyway, we're talking about Carlin today. We're not talking about Carlin today. We're talking about Robin Williams, and this is one of the reasons that I wanted to do this show. One of the reasons this was so special to me is I was telling Chris earlier today that Robin Williams is legit the only. I said first, but he's actually the only like star or famous person, that I didn't know personally or anything like that, that when he passed, it actually affected me. It had an effect on me. Like, I was legit sad. I felt some kind of way about it. I mean, I felt the loss in the world. You know what I mean? So, real special cat, man. I grew up with him, and everything. Like, so he was so prolific throughout his entire life, not just career, his entire life. He was doing all kinds of stuff. He has, if you were to go to IMDb and look up his acting credits alone, this is just his acting credits. That's not talking about his stand-up and all of the spots that he did on TV and stuff like that. He's got over 109 acting credits. So I mean, that's like from 1977 up until the year he died, the man was working. Which, let's go ahead and let everybody know that he was born Robin McLaurin Williams on a Saturday, July 21st in 1951 in Chicago. Great-grandson of Mississippi Governor and Senator Anselm J. McLaurin, and his mother, Lori McLaurin, was a former model from Mississippi. His dad was a Ford Motor Company executive from Indiana. Sorry, I couldn't get that one out. But so if you go back through and watch any of his documentaries or anything like that, you'll learn all kinds of stuff about the way he grew up. And, he was just crazy the whole time. When he was on stage or on set or anything, it's like talking to or interviews, just any time, he was just always on. And that's one of the things I keep hearing about him. He's just, there's no switch.
Yeah. If you ever watch him on a late night talk show, he can't sit still. Mm-mm. He would get up and stand up. He'd sit back down. He'd stand up. He'd sit back down. He's always just moving around, and he couldn't be still by any means whatsoever. And he was always. It was like he lived to make people laugh.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what when in preparing for the show, those 109 acting credits that I was telling y'all about, 68 of those was before the year 2000. So the majority of what he did was from 77 to 2000. He did, oh gosh, he got started on the Richard Pryor show. He did a TV series, Enough is Enough, a TV movie, and then he got on Laugh-In as a regular for a couple of years. Happy Days, the birth of Mork from Ork.
Nanu.
Nanu. Yeah, that, and then Mork and Mindy came out right after Popeye. He did Popeye the movie, and then Mork and Mindy came out. Oh, Mork and Mindy was out during that. That was 78 to 82. I don't know why I just said that.
I thought he did Mork and Mindy before he did Popeye.
Yeah, he did. He started Mork and Mindy right after Happy Days. The character was so popular on Happy Days that he got the Mork and Mindy in 78, and then that ran until 1982. Popeye came out the year I was born.
Can you imagine anybody else trying to play that role of Popeye in the movie he was in?
Oh my God!
I mean, the job they did on him to make him look like he looked. He already had the impression down pat.
He was so perfect.
He's a good impressionist too.
Right.
I'm not saying he does a lot of different voices or anything, mind you.
But not Robin.
Pretty good impressionist, you might say. I mean,
right? Yeah, I might say.
Do you know one of the funniest things I ever heard him do as an impression?
What's that?
Elmer Fudd singing
"Light My Fire." Or
it's not Light My Fire. It's just Fire by Bruce Springsteen.
Fire. Yeah, Fire. Come a little closer.
Yes, that's it. That's it. Or we used to play it as
you don't like it.
We'd play it as kids over and over and over and laugh every time.
Right.
It was hilarious.
And Shelley Duvall as Olive Oil. Oh my God.
That was more believable than Popeye.
Wow, for real. Wasn't she The Shining? Wasn't she the wife in The Shining too? I believe.
I want to say so, but I can't swear to it. That's been a really long time since I've watched that.
Heck yeah. So then he did a movie that I'm going back to watch this week because I've never seen it in my life, and neither is Chris. So The World According to Garp. I don't even know what it's about. I don't even know what it's about, dude.
Guilty. It could be the greatest movie he ever did, or could be his Rhinestone.
It could be his Rhinestone. I don't think he has a Rhinestone. I'm gonna say I don't think he has a Rhinestone.
I'm gonna get that in on every movie episode we ever do about anybody.
Yeah,
all of them out there have a Rhinestone somewhere.
But I challenge you to find his Rhinestone.
It might be Garp.
Maybe it was his very first one. Can I do it till I need glasses? I don't know what that movie's about, but I mean,
either.
That I would say that title's a little racy.
Possibly misleading, even.
It could be, yeah. So many movies. I mean, if we were to sit here and name off every single movie, let's hit some high spots. So, I think coming up, probably one of your favorites, I believe we discussed in 1987. That would be one of his bigger movies. After I have seen The Survivors now. I'm pretty sure that's got Walter Matthau in it. Grumpy Old Men. Y'all know Grumpy Old Men? It does. It has Walter Matthau. It's got Walter Matthau and Robin Williams in it. It's been a long time since I saw it, but that was a funny one. But anyway, we got Good Morning Vietnam.
See, that's one of the first big movies I remember him being in that I watched.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I watched Popeye as a kid, obviously.
Right.
But I mean, as far as other than that,
and as far as him having, like you said, like a big movie, and of course he was playing Adrian Cronauer. This was based on a real person who really was in Vietnam, and he said "Good Morning Vietnam" and all that. It's so funny too because that's one of his best movies, and there's not a whole lot of it we can quote either.
Unfortunately, no. We can talk about him. We can say his name and what he did. But we can't tell you anything he said in the movie.
You know what I loved in that movie, though? Oh, that movie also had Forrest Whitaker.
Yes, it did.
Let's see, that's going off my brain. Who was the one that played Bobby Ba? Or Twan? Or what was his name? I don't remember.
We are about to find out.
It was the little dude that owned the bar. I think it was Twan.
Oh, that was the kid, right? The kid that ends up disappointing him in the end or something like that?
No. That was the one that was that was the little brother of the little girl. He was the one that was yelling at him. He was involved in that bombing.
Okay, I'm talking about what's
the one that
again?
was Bobby Beer, best beer in Vietnam. You know, the one that was looking for the Walter Cronkite pictures or whatever. He said it's not looking good.
Was it Jimmy Wah?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Well, Jimmy Wah, but it didn't have a picture of the person here, so I can't tell for sure. It's got a name, Cuba in the Wind.
Yeah. Okay. So that's him. So we got to know that guy because that guy, he's only on screen for a few minutes in that movie, but he's hilarious.
Noble Willingham is in there. Danny Aiello.
Heck yeah.
Because
he says they're talking about the beer. He said Bobby Beer, best beer in Vietnam. And Forrest Whitaker said Bobby Beer, only beer in Vietnam. They said, where do you get that flavor? He's like, formaldehyde.
There's somebody here named as Tuan, Tuan.
Yeah, Twan, I think, was the girl that was riding the bicycle's little brother. I think Twan was the one.
So Tom T. Tran is his name.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was the kid that was kind of involved with his sister a little bit, and then Twan was involved in the bombing or whatever.
They got Robert Wall, who's been in several other movies throughout the years. He's kind of one of them character kind of people, though. You see him in lots of movies, but nothing major of his own.
Right. And this movie had a budget of $13 million, and it grossed $123,299,000. So I think it was a little bit of a success.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Now we missed. You missed maybe as far as his earlier movies. You said, but the first one you mentioned, I'm looking at here. Also, we forgot about Moscow on the Hudson.
That got a
little notoriety at the time, '84.
Yeah. Moscow. Yes. Okay, I remember that one. I see now this one I watched like as on TV, but it would have been on TV in the 80s, so I was really young and I have not gone back and watched this.
Yeah.
So this one I don't know too much about. I would say it was a mild success. It budgeted at $13 million and grossed $25 million. So that's almost that's double your money, almost double the money. So I mean it's a mild success, I would say. But during this time too, he's doing stand-ups now too. He did Off the Wall Live at the Roxy in 1978, so which was hilarious. And then in '83, he did an evening with Robin Williams, and I believe we were on '87 for Good Morning Vietnam. So yeah, in 1986 it was Live at the Met, and I think the Met was the one that everybody remembers. That's the one we was talking about. The baseball player was like, "Yeah, I did cocaine. It's a long James, Jack." He still got a white line running down to all the way to home plate, third base coach doing this all the time.
These guys, I mean, the man never stopped working, it seemed like. When you look at his credits on IMDb, looking at his credits and everything, I mean, on top of his stand-ups, he's got movies in between every year practically.
Yeah.
He stayed busy a lot. I mean, back when he first came around, like you mentioned earlier in his TV area, when he was in the Richard Pryor Show and Eight is Enough and Laugh-In and Happy Days, Out of the Blue, Popeye, Mork and Mindy. It's like the man never stopped. Fairy Tale Theater, SCTV.
He was doing something like every year, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's got something going on all the time.
When we scroll through here, we're talking 1977, 3 projects. 1978, 4 projects. 4 projects. 1979, 1980, all of 78 through 82, he had Mork and Mindy going on while he was doing the other stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4 projects in 82. Yeah, because you had the Mork and Mindy, Laverne and Shirley and Fonz Hour. That was a TV series. I don't remember that. I remember all of them, but I don't remember that hour. Then the Survivors in 83. 2 projects in 84, 3 in 86. Like, we're counting them up. 85. He took 85 off. Wow. So 85.
So, I mean, everybody deserves a vacation, right?
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, he was probably working. These are release dates. So he was probably still shooting during 85.
That is a very good point.
Because
not only was he doing that,
3
he was
movies
doing
come out.
TV documentaries. He's doing voiceover things. It looks
Doing
like
interviews. He's done soundtracks. Writing his stand-ups and stuff. Like, just insane busy, man. 87, 88, 89, 90, 91. I guess it just, never ending, man. And the fact that we grew up with him too, seeing him in those different lights and stuff. And then, on the kids shows, one of the things that I remembered him on, of course, the early stuff too, but one of the things that I remember loving as a kid, he was the bat on Fern Gully. Yeah, that was really cool to see him there. Awakenings, he played him, and I believe Robert De Niro were in. I believe Robert De Niro was in this movie. Tell me I'm right. I'm right. Okay, so believe De Niro was a patient that had I think he wasn't like in a coma. He was in some kind of, I forget what was exactly wrong with him. But anyway, Robin Williams was playing a doctor, and they kind of spiritually and mentally connected. He woke up or whatever. Great movie. Dude, I mean, you can go on and on and on. Back to Neverland. That was a little short that he did with about.
Back to Neverland. What was it about? Was that a Peter Pan deal, or is that?
Yeah,
I don't know of it.
It's a short. That's the reason why. It's just a little short thing that he did. I think it was in. Let's see this. Yeah, it was him and Walter Cronkite. I guess that can't stem from his Walter Cronkite impression from the movie we talked about earlier. We can't quote. The weather for today is basically as hotter than a snake's butt in a wagon.
Yes.
But he took him on a Disneyland tour, and they run through the process of Disney's hand drawn back then animation, and they kind of put Robin in with the Peter Pan stuff. That's kind of where the movie for Pan idea probably got started, because he was.
I was going to mention that. Isn't that kind of funny, because he did Hooked later? So
yeah, I don't know why I said Pan. I meant Hook.
And that's actually another that I liked of he did. I'd completely forgotten about.
Hook was awesome, dude. Rufio. And see, y'all, this is what we're talking about too. When I came on earlier and said that we were doing a celebration of the life and times, I know we're just kind of
all over
rolling through the movies here, but it's not. When we went into this, we said that we weren't just going to be talking about movies or our top tens or any one thing in particular. We're just talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Robin Williams, and celebrating him and being thankful for him, and kind of throwing it out there too for those of us that forget how prolific this man was. He was mind blowing everywhere, all the time. So prolific, in fact, another little piece of information. According to Yahoo Finance, Robin Williams' lifetime box office earnings is $3.51 billion. Billion.
And well, I mean, is this any surprise as busy as he stayed, though?
I know, right? I mean, that's crazy.
I'm sure that's not what he ended up having toward the end there. I mean, I'm sure that wasn't his net worth. That's what he made the whole time.
Right. That was his box office sales. Now, this is box office. That's not. That's just the movies. That's not talking about everything else that he did either.
That's not his television series, the stand-up comedies.
Right. Yeah. And then I think in the list he was like 43. There's a lot of stars that have, but I mean inflation and then blah blah blah. So because he did kind of slow down there toward the end of his years, But like you were talking about Hook was huge.
Yeah.
Cadillac Man, I think, did really well. I didn't watch it.
For me, had its spots, I mean, it was funny. Yeah. It was funny in spots, but to be not entertaining in spots too, though.
Right. That's what I was about to say. It's one that I wasn't really crazy about. I don't have the budget, but it grossed $27 million. Like I said, I don't have the budget info on that one, but I guess I guess it did all right, because I mean, people saw it. and I don't even
as far as Cadillac Man goes,
Anatomy floats. Yeah,
Joey O'Brien.
Joey O'Brien. Oh, and then we had he was in Shakes the Clown with Bobcat Goldthwait. I don't know if you ever saw Shakes the Clown.
Bits and pieces. bits and pieces, but not enough to really talk about it a lot.
Right.
You talk about box office, all right, for Cadillac Man.
Yeah.
It doesn't really state what it was at. No, it doesn't show what it cost to make it. It just shows what it grossed worldwide, which was 27,627,000.
Right.
Hour and 37 minutes long opening weekend, 6,712,000.
Heck yeah. And a lot of people too, just to skip forward to a particular movie just for a half a second, not to talk about it, but a lot of people, I remember when it came out, I remember a lot of people saying that Good You Will Hunting kind of threw them off because they were like, this is Robin Williams' first serious acting role. And I'm like, have you watched this man's film? Like, have you seen this dude's work? Because while he was in some other semi-serious roles, and I would venture to say that Moscow on the Hudson was it fairly serious?
I don't think it was a huge comedy.
Yeah, it was kind of
from memory. I mean,
right. And then I would say Seize the Day, which was a TV movie, wasn't a very funny movie. It was kind of serious, but
he did a voice on the TV movie documentary Dear America: Letters Home from Vietnam.
Nah. So for me, the first very, very serious bit of acting that he did, where the comedy was really kept to a minimum, and it was really, really deep, really, really heavy, and you got to see him really, I don't know, man, go outside of what you're used to seeing him be, and that was Dead Poets Society, where he played John Keating, which was based on another true story. John Keating was a real teacher, and the Dead Poets Society was a real group of boys that came back together and learned to suck the marrow from the bone of life, to carpe diem, to seize the day. And this movie, I've said it before, this movie had a huge impact on me. I've talked about this movie so much, I won't spend much time on it right now, but just amazing, amazing, amazing movie, especially for you people that like deep stories like that, or real dramatic type movies. Go watch it. It's pretty good. It's really good. It's my favorite. It's my favorite movie of his, period. So I would say it's better than pretty good.
So I mean, you would rate it more as a drama than anything, right?
100%. 100%.
So I mean, if anybody into a good drama would enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
He can put on some serious acting chops. He's not just comedy.
Right.
But he's great at comedy.
And he did that again in The Fisher King in 1991. The Fisher King was a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
He was a suicidal radio DJ, I believe. Something.
I mean, he's not like, when we say he's very, I don't know what the word is here. He's able to pull off so many different types of acting that you're not just privy to the one thing. Plenty of fun comedies out there, but the fact that he can do the drama and do it well and still be funny when it comes time to be funny, it's not like watching the one-liners from the action films when you've seen Arnold and Stallone and the people stick around, or let some steam out, Bennett, or anything like that. It's not like and then you see Arnold try to be, he's all serious and actiony and he's killing people, but then he tries to be funny or something. I mean,
and then it's awkward, or sometimes it works like in Twins, but
right. I mean, he had a couple of good ones, but for the most part, when he tried a comedic bit, and it's always awkward with Stallone because he has no sense of humor whatsoever. Don't seem like. So, but when you come to someone like Robin Williams, he's everywhere.
Amazing.
He does everything good.
And he doesn't get enough, in my opinion, he doesn't get enough credit for that too, because we always think of him as the funny man. Yeah. And the Fisher King, Jeff Bridges was the the dude was the radio DJ in it, and Robin was the homeless guy, the Fisher King. He was the homeless guy. He kind of helped Jeff Bridges kind of find his way back to, wanting to live, I guess you'd say. And then, so yeah, man. And then, I mean, Jesus, dude, it's all over. Oh, he was Aladdin too. He was the genie in Aladdin. Not long after Fern Gully and Hook that we talked about, and Toys. Toys was a weird little movie that was good. Spinal Tap Reunion, Miss Doubtfire.
Love Miss Doubtfire.
Miss Doubtfire. Hello.
Such a drive-by fruiting.
It trips me out too that there are enough time has gone by, whether we like it or not. There are hundreds, thousands even, of people who have not seen Miss Doubtfire. Like, you remember when that came out? That was on everybody. Everybody was talking about Miss Doubtfire.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants a sequel to it, and wanted a sequel to it. I should say.
Wanted one, yeah. Yeah, because you can't do that. You can't follow him.
No. It wouldn't be right to try to put somebody else in that place at all.
Right. This movie, y'all. This movie had a budget of $25 million, that's a pretty hefty budget.
Yeah.
But at $25 million, but this thing grossed $441 million plus.
It's quite a bit of dough.
That's quite a bit of dough. I would call that a mild success as well. That's crazy. And everything. That movie, he was good at that part too, where we're talking about the comedy and the seriousness and the drama. This movie, he melded it all together.
The comedy bit, obviously, is him being Mr. Doubtfire.
Yes.
But when you see him around his kids in the movie, you see, I don't want to say it was all dramatic and everything, but it wasn't all comedy either with his kids. And then when you see him in front of the courtroom, in front of the judge, that's when you really, like, his little speech hits you in the feels a little bit when he talks about his kids.
And, Robin has got a way of conveying emotion without speaking too, like his expression and the look in his eyes. And that's something about hollow people, man. I feel like one of the reasons I'm so close to Robin, or I felt so close to Robin Williams, I identify with him so much, is because as I'm not shy to talk about it, I'm a grateful recovering addict. I'm a goofball. I grew up as a class clown. I do all the voices. He was, I guess you would say, without me saying that was my idol coming up. I said I looked up to Arnold and all these people, but truly, Robin Williams would truly be one of the people that I think that shaping my life, I guess, and who I am. I mean, he really would have. The ideals that I saw him talk about behind the scenes, and all this and that, and the struggles that we saw him go through, and publicly, with his addiction and things like that, and coming back and still being full of love and full of happiness. It really, really spoke to me on a personal level through my life. So
yeah, maybe you looked up to like Arnold or something in his movies and all the action and stuff, but you were more like Robin Williams as a person.
Absolutely. And that's why I say that thing of that. That's why I say that comment about hollow people, because I am one. It's one of those things to where just to not to get too serious on the show for a minute, but it's one of those things to where sometimes nothing's ever enough. There's something inside of you that nothing is ever enough. Nothing makes you, even when you're happy, you're not happy. Even when you're surrounded by people, you still feel lonely. It's just one of those, it's just something in you, man. I call it hollow. It's just a hollow piece that nothing feels. And like I said, man, we can spot those people a mile away. And I feel like that people like that have a real true gift for conveying that out to you. And Robin really could do that, like you were talking about when he was standing on the steps, man. And many other movies, What Dreams May Come comes to mind. It's a really psychedelic trip of a movie, but the story behind it, and what I'm saying, like when you pay attention, it's a real deep movie. He dies and goes to heaven. Well, his family does, You know, he sees his kids. He even sees the dog. Well, his wife died in a deep depression, a depressive state. So she went to hell. So he goes to hell to get her back. And dude, this movie is visually stunning. The story's amazing. And we're jumping around. I'm not just following this thing here. I don't even.
Oh no, we're all over the board for sure.
Yeah, we're all over the board. Though. What Well, we can't go in order with Robin. We got to be crazy like he is.
Well, that's why we said we're not trying to just.
Yeah, we ain't even trying, man. We just talking and having a good time and hoping that everybody else does too. But yeah, What Dreams May Come was a 1998 movie. So right there toward the end of our genres, of our niche. It budgeted $85,000, and sadly, that's an estimated budget. Sadly, it grossed $85 million, and it grossed $55 million worldwide. So that was a loss. And I guess if you were to say this would be his Rhinestone, if it was you, maybe.
I don't want to say it's a Rhinestone exactly, just because it made less money. I mean, was it a bad movie? I mean. No. His Rhinestone would be the worst movie he ever made.
Yeah, and I think
where he was bad in it himself.
Oh yeah, there's not. I mean? That movie doesn't exist.
So I mean, it's like, because I told you, right? Where this all started was our very first episode with Stallone, and his movie Rhinestone. I thought it was the worst movie he could have ever made. He was not a comedian. He was a tough guy. He was a action kind of guy. You know, throw some one-liners at him, it's fine. But don't try to make him a comedian. Please don't make him try to sing country music again. That was just awful. So,
how about Flubber? Maybe Flubber is his Rhinestone.
Flubber might qualify, because I didn't watch Flubber. I didn't want to watch Flubber. It looked kind of stupid.
It was absolutely ridiculous.
Was it a little animation with some live action mixed in or something, or?
It was live action with a little animation mixed in. It wasn't really animation. It was CGI, really.
Yeah,
the little Flubber things he created.
Yeah,
remember the Blob? Remember the old Blob movie? It was like a sweet blob.
You know, I never watched the original Blob. I saw the Blob remake with Kevin Dillon in it, and that's the first time I'd seen the Blob.
Oh wow!
I mean, it's not Robin Williams, I know, but still,
yeah.
You know, it was a good movie too. Yeah. I liked it.
Then Jumanji. The Rock is remade.
How did I forget Jumanji? Is one of my favorite Robin Williams. All right, is it okay if I amend what I said earlier? Can I go and make changes?
You're gonna make changes.
I made changes from earlier because now we got Good Morning Vietnam, we got Miss Doubtfire, we got Popeye, we've got Jumanji, and I know I am once again leaving one out from earlier that we were talking about. And I got to scroll back down and find it again. Oh,
Hook. Yep.
You know,
Jumanji was another smash. That's $65 million budget, $262 million plus.
But it was a nice concept to a movie, though. If you think about it, you're playing this game.
It was
like the game comes to life around you. It's like can you imagine if you're playing I don't know, playing a real life Monopoly game?
You're right.
I mean, you are rolling a dice or something, and you say, okay, I'm going to buy that road right over there with all them houses already on it.
Right. And, it spun off some movies, too. What was that movie, Zathura? And there's a movie, I believe, called Zathura.
Was that a spin-off of the movie? Or just a play
it was a rip-off of the movie. It wasn't a rip-off because it was in space. It was different. But no, I mean, it gave birth to those. It didn't spin them off. It gave birth to them, I think, without a doubt.
Did you happen to see Robin Williams on American Idol?
I did not. Oh, as a judge.
It says that we have American Idol TV series Idol Gives Back in 2008. He stars in there as Ivan Bob Popanoff, the Russian Idol.
Oh no, I don't remember that. I don't know. I need to see that now. That's gonna be good.
Ivan Popanoff.
He got. Oh, you know what? As much as everybody loved him, he caught some flack. He caught some flack for one movie, I remember. He kissed Nathan Lane on the lips in the movie Birdcage.
That was Birdcage, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. That's where him and Nathan Lane were homosexual domestic partners. Had Gene Hackman, Diane West. So what the movie was about for him. Oh, and Hank Azaria like, look, that man is so overlooked. Hank Azaria is great. He's been in all kinds of stuff. Like that dude.
Do you know where people know Hank Azaria the most from?
No.
The Simpsons.
Godzilla. Oh yeah, dude. He does like a million voices.
He does at least 2 voices on The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of them is the guy that runs the 7-Eleven store.
Apu.
And then he plays possibly the guy at the bar.
Yeah.
Possibly.
I know he does. He does Mo and Chief Wiggum too.
Oh, there you go. Mo's the guy at the bar.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And welcome to the Quickie Mart.
Yeah.
Hank is awesome. But the Birdcage. So now what flipped me out about this is the man had done been on all these other shows. He done been on SNL by now a couple of times. He done been on Whose Line. Whose Line was? I don't know if Whose Line was out.
Robin Williams.
Yeah, he was on Whose Line. I know a lot, but I'm saying back then.
Yeah.
But anyway, by this time, this man has done kissed quite a few people in the face on stage and on film. But we only had a problem with it when it was in a movie that he was portraying a homosexual. So, but us real true Robin Williams fans, we didn't care. And then most of the people who did sit down and watch the movie got over that real quick. Seemed like that I knew anyway. But I remember that being a thing. Like they were like, "What? Robin Williams actually kissed a man?" Like, bro, he's done it before.
maybe he did it like 20 years too soon or something.
I don't know. It could have been. But that's a great movie too. His son
more widely accepted today than he would have been years ago.
Yeah, and the movie's hilarious. It really is. And isn't it? His son's getting married, I believe, and they're planning the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really funny movie.
Didn't he do? I might be wrong. Was he in Tu Wong Fu also?
Uncredited.
Uncredited. Okay.
Yeah. And then he did that. He was in Jack. He was in Flubber, as we talked about. Hamlet. He played Ostrich in Hamlet in the Hamlet movie. I mean, is that the one that had? No, it's not the one I'm thinking of. This was Kenneth Branagh as Hamlet. But Kate Winslet played Ophelia. Oh, Ophelia.
Yeah, you can't forget also Night at the Museum.
Yes, he played Teddy.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy. Every time I think of Teddy Roosevelt, look, people, y'all need to go watch the Epic Rap Battles of History. Teddy Roosevelt. Oh my God!
Yeah, all of those were hilarious.
I mean, give him a big I can't repeat it. It's too bad. But yeah, he's like, give suckle. Yeah, so funny. Hey, Good Will Hunting, we did that.
Yeah, that was more of one of your movies. I didn't really care for Good Will Hunting. I never watched Dead Poets Society because when I watch Robin Williams, I'm particular this way. I mean, I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch Steven Seagal if I want to see a comedy. I want to watch Steven Seagal go out there and break somebody's arm in the movie and flip him around and do his little forearm clothesline thing he does, whatever it is. I want to watch Robin Williams be funny.
Okay, I respect that. I can respect that.
But I mean, that's not to say that he made bad movies or anything.
You gonna watch Denzel for your you watch Denzel for your drama?
I've seen quite a few good Denzel movies that were dramas. John Q was good.
Oh yeah.
The movie about the train with him and Chris Pratt, I think it was. Was it Chris Pratt? No, Chris Pine. Chris Pine.
Him and Chris Pine on a train. Denzel and Chris Pine on a train.
They're train conductors in it's like a runaway train. It's going to crash through something. And
that's a subway. It's a subway train, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you're going to make me...
So you're going to look it up now. It's a regular train.
In Robin Williams fashion, we just going to jump off over here. Squirrel! Yeah, because Chris Pine has a new movie out on Netflix right now that just came out this year that I was thinking about watching.
Well, it's the one that played. It's the one that played the young James T. Kirk.
That's Chris Pine. That's Chris Pine.
Okay, that's him then.
Yeah. Well.
It's in the 2000s sometimes.
In the 2000s. That's way back. Hang on, let me go back here. Y'all hang with us just for a second. I know what it's about, but now we got to figure this out because now it's going to drive me crazy.
We're having technical difficulties with Travis.
I don't see it.
Travis goes in and out of roboto form, as you can hear just then.
Did I do it again?
You did, but now you're back.
I can't understand what's going on with my.
Tell you, you got some lag in your connection somewhere. I think
it's got to be. I don't know. I don't see this. I don't see it. We'll figure it out later. We're talking about.
I'll tell you what. You talk about some Robin Williams. You talk about some Robin Williams. I'm
going to talk about Patch Adams. We were riding through. Okay, so for those of y'all that don't know, Patch Adams was a doctor. This is another movie that he did that was based on a real person. So Patch Adams was a medical doctor that believed that laughter healed, happiness heals, and he fought the system on this. And he was showing people, he was showing the system, he was showing everyone, the patients and everyone, that it really does work. One of the quotes from it, and I believe it is a real Hunter Patch Adams quote that they repeated in the movie. He said, if you treat a disease, you win, you lose. You treat a person, I guarantee you win every time, no matter the outcome. And that's what I got cold chills, boy. But yeah, that's what the movie was about. And it's a hilarious movie. It's a sometimes gut wrenching movie. He's, like I said there again, he's got that way about him. But we were driving through the mountains this weekend, and my son was talking about how laughter is medicine. And I was like, yeah, you're right. It is healing. And I started telling him about the Patch Adams movie. So I was like, yeah, there's actually a doctor you need to look up and blah, blah, blah. So, and he went on to do some funny stuff. His mama laughed. He's like, see, his mother's just had surgery. Tasha just had surgery in her, this isn't going to relate properly, I don't think, but her right shoulder. Does that relate? Because everything's backwards in the camera?
Well, I mean, you're pointing to your right shoulder if you know it's your right shoulder.
Yeah. So, it's when we go trying to do our right and left, looking at each other, that's when we get messed up.
Right. I'm like, you're right here on. No, wait, you're over here.
Yeah.
You're right there.
Yeah, you're way over there. So anyway,
look, you're to my right. Yeah. Technically on screen, you're on my left.
On my left. Yes. So his mom started laughing. He's like, look, I healed mom. So we all thought that was funny. Not only this, he produced movies too.
Yes.
Jacob the Liar he produced. I think I was telling you about this one beforehand, or we're talking this before the show or during the show? After.
I don't know.
Jacob the Liar. Jacob the Liar was a good one. It was set in World War II. And he was basically running around just lying to the whole community about the Allied forces making advancements and stuff like that toward the good. You know, they're going to come save us and stuff. He was spreading hope and love, but it turned out to be not so good. There's some twists and turns in the movie. He produced Miss Doubtfire, and he produced Comic Relief. So he's producing.
Comic Relief. How do we forget Comic Relief, man? Comic Relief, him and Billy Crystal and.
Oh my gosh.
Who was there was three of them, wasn't it? Robin Williams, Billy Crystal.
I can't think of it.
Weird. I thought it was three. I can't remember. Maybe it's not.
Yeah, I don't remember.
That movie a while ago was Unstoppable, by the way.
I got you.
Just so you know. Before I forget. But anyway, yeah, that was a great thing. Also, whenever they had Comic Relief, that was definitely a fun thing.
And him and Billy Crystal were like best friends too, like in the comic world, I guess you'd say. They Billy spoke at his funeral and all. Billy Crystal is another one that I have talked about doing an episode on, because he did a lot for me as a comedian too. Not as a comedian, like I'm a comedian. He did a lot for me in my career. It's non-existent.
Billy Crystal was marvelous.
He was marvelous, absolutely marvelous. Yeah, Billy was amazing. I just rewatched one of his old movies the other day. It was City Slickers.
I love City Slickers.
City Slickers is an awesome movie.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, we got some other
things. Hey, that one thing.
That one thing.
That one thing. In case you didn't know, says that one thing.
That one thing. Y'all got to go find out that one thing. Y'all got to watch the movie. So we can't tell you what that one thing is. You just got to go watch the movie. It's this.
That's it. Yeah.
It's this.
What? Your finger?
Oh man. Yeah. So I mean, that's almost got. No, it don't. Like if I just sat here and named off the list, I still got tons to go to get y'all to 2000. Bicentennial Man. That was a weird one. I liked it. It was he was a robot in it. He was an android in it. He played Hugo Kingsley in the LA Doctors TV series. One Saturday morning, Disney Math Quest with Aladdin. We did Good Will Hunting, Deconstructing Harry. And you know what? Since we're doing his show too, look, y'all remember all this other stuff from just outside our genre. I'm gonna go just outside of our time frame for this one movie. Just one movie. I'm going outside of our time frame for, and that is 1 Hour Photo. Okay. 1 Hour Photo was amazing. Y'all need to watch. Y'all should watch every Robin Williams movie that you can get your hands on. But I'm here to tell you, 1 Hour Photo. If you want to see Robin Williams in a different role than what you know him from, even if you know funny and you know serious, you don't know creepy. And 1 Hour Photo is creepy. And somehow he plays a bad guy in it. He's a stalker. And what happens is he works the 1 Hour Photo at the local outlet store, not outlet, but like a Sam's Club or a Costco, you know,
right?
The wholesale store. So he starts keeping these photos, man. And like he's hanging them on his wall at the house, like creating a family that he don't have because he's just an old, lonely, crazy man. He ends up like, y'all just go watch the movie. I'm trying to tell you, you're going to be like, what in the world is this? Like, how is Robin Williams so creepy? And then somehow he managed to make you feel sorry for him. Like he's a creepy stalker murderer that makes you feel sorry for him inadvertently too. There's like, they don't mean for this to happen in the movie, but me and about 6 other people that I talked to about this were like, yeah, man, I'll be honest with you. I kind of felt sorry for him. Like, he just wanted to love him.
It's a bit creepy and he stalks people, but I feel bad for the man.
I feel bad for him. He just wanted to love on him some. A little Elmira action. I want to hug you and love you and squeeze you forever and ever. But yeah, man, I mean, we're getting close up to the end of the show, but I mean, to give y'all a couple more little quotes from Robin, man. It's one of my favorites was, "You're only given a little spark of madness. You mustn't lose it." And he says, "No matter what people tell you, words and ideas can change the world." And it's true, man. I teach my kids words matter, you know. One of the other ones that I love from him is, you know what music is? It's God's little reminder that there's something else besides us in this universe. Harmonic connection between all living things everywhere, even the stars. And you know, he's said, I could go get quotes from Robin Williams that mean something to Phil, and I could write a book with them. But I've been trying to find this. I was telling Chris about this earlier. I've been trying to find. There's a very end part of one of his stand-up routines, and I went back and watched every one of these, and I can't find it. I don't know how I found this. Maybe it was from the 2012 parallel universe I come from. But there's at the end of one of his stand-ups, he does a bit where he talks about, basically he's doing the boy's voice and everything. He's in the backyard playing baseball, playing catch with the little boy, and just kind of explaining to him life, man. And it's one of the most poignant things that you've ever heard from a comedian, and it's gripping at the end of it because it's you know, the little boy. The way he tells it, I wish I could repeat it, man, because it's like he goes through, he tells him about life, and then he tells him, you know, about us dying one day and this and that. And the little boy looks up and holds his hand, and he said, "I'm scared, Daddy." And he said, "You don't have to be scared, son." And he said, "Well, how's it going to work out?" And he said, "Well, I don't know, son. Life's a crapshoot." And then the end of it, right after that, just makes you're in tears at this point. And then right at the end of it, the last thing the little boy says makes you bust open with laughter again, and everything's like, hilarious and funny again. It's so good. I wish I could repeat it, but thank you.
I take it there's a few words that aren't very family-like or something. Then.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the little boy says he says some good words. Like the whole conversation is just so poignant and so loving and it's a little funny here and there. Then the little boy's like, yeah, and it's just screw it, basically. in typical Robin fashion, you know.
To go back to what we were talking to earlier again, also, I said I can't believe we forgot comic relief. Mm-hmm. It was Whoopi Goldberg was the third person.
Okay, yeah.
You know, back when she was funny.
Yeah, back when she was funny, when she was doing the movie with Ted Danson.
Back when she was, Jumpin' Jack Flash and
oh yeah.
Yeah. That during that time frame when she was actually
funny. Those three were a big deal too. They were huge on that.
At the time frame, they were probably the three biggest comics doing stand-up still.
Yeah, and they hung out together. Like they were actually really, really good friends too. Like all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Mr. Billy Crystal talking about that too.
Did you see the episode of Friends that Billy Crystal and Robin Williams were on?
I believe I did, but it's been so long ago.
The cast of Friends had no idea this was going to happen. Mm-hmm. They walk into the area where they're supposed to sit down, and I think sitting there.
They were sitting on the couch.
Yes.
And then they started arguing, didn't they?
Yes.
Yes.
They're arguing all the way out the door as they're leaving.
Yeah.
You can see the cast of Friends just looking.
And they're all just amazement. Like gobstopped.
That happened? What?
Right. Yeah, they're all just gobstopped by it. Yes, I do remember that. That was amazing.
That was great.
And you never know when they're liable to do something like that. It's
well, they were in the studio next to it that day, and they wanted to come in and see Friends. What it was
right.
Like.
Yeah.
So they asked the
Friends was a phenomenon.
Right. They asked the writers and the producers, do you think we could go in and be an extra and sit in the cafe?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you know what? Billy Crystal and Robin Williams, you do whatever you want to do.
That's right.
We're just going to roll the camera.
And they went in and ad-libbed that whole little scene, too.
They ad-libbed everything. And they said, we're just going to roll the camera. And it's going to be gold.
Yeah, and it was.
It was.
That was the other thing, too. Robin Williams, and anybody you ask that is in the business, that has worked with him, or that is a fan, or anything, or that knows about improv, Robin Williams is the god of improv. Like there is no other that can come close to him. I've heard over and over and over that you just grab onto his coattail and try to hold on, and it's
and to see
amazing.
Him doing, although it's outside of our outside of our time frame, to see him doing Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah,
he did so much funny stuff in that show.
Oh my gosh, him and Colin Mockery,
yes,
were hilarious together. If y'all ain't never seen Whose Line Is It Anyway, y'all need to go watch that. They're doing new episodes on HBO Go too, by the way.
What was your favorite version of that show? I know it's off topic and everything, but did you like it better when Drew Carey hosted?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Drew Carey was the funniest. I've seen the British version. I've seen Drew Carey's, and I've seen the new one with what's her name on it. And Drew Carey's definitely the funniest one.
Yeah.
The British one was okay, but I think they're all funny, but yeah, it don't touch Drew Carey.
No, the one Drew Carey hosted on it and sometimes got in on the skits. You had Drew Carey and Wayne Brady, you had Colin.
And Drew's hilarious too. A lot of people forget the fact too that Drew Carey was he was a maniac until he started hosting, until he took Bob Barker's microphone.
The price was wrong after all.
The price is wrong, Bob. But yeah, outside of our time frame as well, his last stand-up, Weapons of Self-Destruction, go watch it. It's hilarious. His funniest stand-up in my mind of all time is Live on Broadway. That's the one that has the golf jokes on it and a slew of other stuff. And like I said, there's hardly a joke. I can't think of a joke that we can repeat. And you will laugh.
Probably not.
You will laugh at every bit of it.
Probably not. And just to get this in before we end up having to go, because I know we're getting close time.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot closer time than earlier. But I mean, for someone who could make somebody laugh as much as he did to be in much pain mentally as he was.
Yeah.
To end up the way things ended up and everything. I mean, it's like I we've talked about this with other people, I'm sure, and I don't know if you and I talked about it before or not. I know me and Ray's talked about it. Your cousin Chili Ray.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this before, but you see somebody who is always trying to nonstop make people laugh. You wonder to yourself sometimes now, are they miserable at home or something? Because
Yeah.
that's the first thing you think of now since Robin Williams brought this to everybody's attention. Of every talk show he went on, he would not show any kind of weakness of any kind of being uh, down the dumps or upset or whatever. He was always just going a million miles a second, making people laugh, doing impressions and hand gestures and whatever the case may be.
Yeah, and with Robin, going back to what I was talking about earlier too, with all the years of him in and out of drug addiction, and three wives, and the things that he went through in his personal life, and depression, and it all comes along with it too. And he couldn't have been ADD at all, ADHD, but he was actually, when he died, we were told that he killed himself out of depression and this and that. And come to find out, if nobody knows about it, you need to go watch Robin's Wish. His wife at the time, where she's still his wife now. You know what I mean? Like she was his wife then, his third wife. Excuse me. She, I don't have her name here. I don't have her name, but anyway, she did this. She made this happen through the director that helped her and some other friends that helped to tell Robin's story about Lewy body dementia. So Robin was misdiagnosed with Parkinson's. Now y'all heard that part, I'm sure, and y'all heard that he killed himself because of depression. But that's not what happened. What happened is he had this something called Lewy body dementia, and Lewy body dementia is it's sort of like Alzheimer's. But what it is a protein. Because Alzheimer's is, I guess, a form of dementia. It's a protein that inside your brain cells, and it triggers about 15% of dementia cases. And it is not. It doesn't happen a lot. It's just a small percentage of the population that does get this. And 15% of the dementia cases that abnormal accumulation of protein inside the brain cause is not always the Lewy body dementia. It could lead to another thing.
Mm-hmm.
But there's accounts of him telling people like, I don't feel like me anymore. I'm having paranoia that I can't control. And and he was clean. He was drug free. He was sober. So, and that's why I feel like when we go back through his messages, he was unaware that he had Lewy body dementia. Like they didn't even know he had this stuff, So
Yeah.
he's fighting all these other things that he's advocating for and about. And I feel like had he known, he would have advocated for mental health. And I feel like that's something that we should all look out for one another and push and show in a more positive light than what's shown now. People don't want to go talk to a shrink. They don't want to go, they don't want to have a problem that they need to go get help with. My wife is a licensed professional counselor with her all the way up to master's degree. And, with me going through the things that I've been through, inpatient, outpatient recovery programs and this and that, and, anger management and all the things that I've been through, I would like to invite people to look at this as a tool. It's a toolbox, right? So if I'm a machinist and CNC machinist, you can't come in and do what I do unless you have the set of tools that I have. You're going to have to go to my toolbox and get something out of it to do my job with. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're a carpenter, I need something out of you. I need something out of your bag. So healthcare professionals, especially as far as mental wellness is concerned, have a set of tools that if you listen to them, I'm not saying all the time, you got to find one that you get along with and you like. Just there's levels to everything. So anyway, they've got a set of tools that you need that you can't you don't have them. You can't fix yourself, especially if you don't know anything's wrong. You know what I'm saying? So if you're having those feelings that the world's out to get you, or you can't figure this out, or you can't never catch a break, or no one understands, and this all this stuff that you may be going through, it's not necessarily clinical depression. It's not necessarily being having Lewy body dementia, or it could be some kind of just other little chemical imbalance. There's so many things that can happen within your body and within your brain. You know what I'm saying? So let Robin especially be an example and a beacon toward mental health and toward seeking help out, for anything that might be going on in your life, even if you're depressed, because it can get to a point to where if it gets to a point to where your mind can make your body do things. So you can get to a point to where if you get into a habit and into a rut of doing certain things, your body's going to start creating these different chemicals and this and that. Maybe you start eating out of control, or addictions are more than drugs, baby. Anything can be an addiction. So,
right.
Just seek it out and laugh as much as possible. So, I'm sorry I went on that little tirade there about it, but I mean,
I think it had to be said. That's a good thing to get out there. People should know these things.
Yeah, mental health is a big issue in our country. Mental health and emotional health too. You need to learn emotional health as well. I learned a lot that in that your emotional health goes right hand in hand with your mental health. And then that affects your physical health.
Mm-hmm.
But it took me a long time when I was coming out of addiction and, getting my chemicals straightened out in my head, that I had anger issues real bad. And then once I evolved, I guess you would say, and learned more about me and I started using that toolbox that those people helped me gain. I learned that most of the time when I'm angry, it's because I'm hurt or upset about something. I got my feelings hurt, or I didn't have an expectation met. So pain came in and made the anger. And I say that for a reason to go into. I don't want to run too long over our time here preaching on this kind of thing, especially, but there's a whole philosophy. If y'all want to talk to me about this, hit me up personally, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you about it. But there's a whole philosophy that I have that revolves around pain, because I believe that pain is the only emotion that's real. It's the only one that we feel that's real, because pain is the only feeling that you can have mentally, physically, and emotionally. You can't feel happy physically. You feel good physically, but you don't feel happy physically. You can't feel scared physically. You feel like kind of frozen or paralyzed, but your body doesn't feel scared. But your body can feel pain, right? Your body can feel pain. I'm not scared. But your body can feel pain. Your emotions can, your brain can feel pain, and your heart can feel pain. So anyway, thank you for letting me do that, and thank y'all for being here for it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we love you, Robin Williams.
So it sounds like you were winding the show up.
Yes.
It sounds like to me.
Yes. We love you, Robin Williams. I would love you for letting me host this show.
Well, being that you are the host of the show, the host of the show at the end of the show,
I have to show you, if you want to get in touch with me to talk to me about some other deeper stuff that doesn't pertain to this show at all, that I'm more than happy to talk to you about, then you need to know how to find us on social media. This isn't my personals, but it's the show's. And you can find me there too. So, social media!
Social media is a very important thing these days. It's the way that you keep up with us and the way that we hear from you. So if you would, take a moment and follow us. We're located at TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram at our name, Retro Life for You. That's RETROLIFE, the number 4YOU. You can also reach us via email at retrolifeforyou@gmail.com. And don't forget to subscribe and follow and share us with your friends. And hey, while you're at it, do us a huge favor and leave us a great 5-star review and a rating. It helps in ranking the podcast and, most importantly, lets us know how we're doing for you. Ooh. Yeah, right there.
Well, yeah, that's it. One of a kind. Yeah, I had pictures pulled up throughout this whole thing. I didn't even think of showing a picture of the man. There
just happened to see this, and I was looking at those pictures, and I thought, we got to show this at the end for sure.
For sure.
Definitely one of a kind.
We love you, Robin. I got a question real quick, though, while Robin's up there. Leave Robin up there for a second. I'm channeling my inner Robin at the moment.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so if media is information that you take in, and usually our media that we take in is given to us from someone else, isn't all media social media?
Depends on how you look at it, I guess.
Oh, that's a good one.
Now you're trying to be all...
Hey, how do you get Teflon to stick to a pan when nothing sticks to Teflon?
Ooh.
Good night!
That's just like me saying I got a ticket for parking the other day, and I didn't understand why, because the sign said fine for parking.
It was fine. Y'all ever try to nail Jell-O to a wall?
No.
You got to be fast.